Hey, my God is good, oh. Hey, my God is good, oh. Mm, 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 Hey, hey, my God is good, oh. Hey, my God is good, oh. Hey, my God is good, oh. Hey, my God. Everything na double double, oh. Na double double. Na double double. Yeah, na double double. Everything na double double, oh. Na double double. Mm, 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 mm. Ó já sọ pé, ó já sọ pé, ó já sọ pé, ó já sọ pé. What's up, my people? It's your boy JFK, man. I'm just thanking God. You know what I'm saying? It's December 30th. We're here. We are blessed. Yeah, it's no joke. It's no joke. We're going to be reflecting on 2020 today. MJ Jags in the building, my people. Listen, man, I appreciate you so much right now, sis, because I know it's about 12 midnight over there in the UK. And you out here with a brother. Appreciate it. Yes, so we have every reason to be thankful. Yes, so if unless you don't know, if you don't know, look, every day you are given is just be grateful, because this year has revealed to us that it is not by power, it's not by might, it is not to him that willeth or him that runneth, it is God that showeth mercy. Amen. Yo, what's going on, my people? You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy JFK. Listen, just want to run down 2021, a little bit. How are you doing? Tell me. Let's start with this. If you were to describe this year with one word, what word would you use? That's what we're going to start with. Give me one word to describe this year. All right, let's start with that. Let's start. One word to describe this year. That's what we're starting with. Let me know what's your word to describe this year, 2020. Just describe this year. Maybe one word is not enough. You want to use a sentence. Okay, you can use a sentence also. One word or one sentence to describe it. Let's go. I have a few. One word or one sentence to describe this year. Go. MJ Jackson, unexpected. You say it's unexpected, but we knew 2020 was going to come after 2019 now. What I understand you. Unexpected. This year was a surprise package. As a matter of fact, 2020 has caused me to start to rethink how I feel about surprises. I used to think I like surprises. I don't want any more surprises anymore. I want things to come as they are supposed to come. No more surprises. I like that. 2020, one word to describe the year is unexpected. Unexpected. It's this is not how any of us planned the year to go. And despite all the conspiracy theories about those who planned it to go like that, I'm guaranteed if you are here, drop me a line, let me know you're here. We are describing 2020. How can you describe 2020? One word or one sentence. What is 2020 to you? If you are in an exam hall and they ask you to use a word or a sentence to describe 2020, what would you say? That's what we are doing. MJ says it's unexpected. That's mild. Unexpected, just like it was a surprise, but it was crazy. Unprecedented. There you go. For long got it's unprecedented. Like, this is a year that has not had any no other year has mimicked this year. No other year has done what this year has done. Deadly unprecedented. And I'll tell you something, like, all of us that are involved in this year, we have not recovered. We have not recovered from the year because it's still happening. It's still happening. I'll start here. David Obatola, yes. So he said God's will. God's will. Yes, because nothing happens without the king giving it permission. We have to take it like that. I like that. Welcome, David Obatola. I appreciate you. Let me tell you why this is even this show. I don't know how many of you heard that. I think it was last night we lost a newly elected congressman. We lost a newly elected congressman last night. This man has just been, elected to Congress. He's about to take his seat. And he passed away due to COVID. And it's heartbreaking because this when I saw, I think I woke up to see the news. And I'm thinking to myself, this man just won a seat. This man's life is about to start a new phase. This man, is a father of 2 young children. He's about to start a new phase. And, he passed away from COVID. And, you're wondering to yourself, what is that family supposed to do now? And it's the story of 2020. This is the story of 2020. A lot of people that were lost this year. It's just you can't put it into words. That's why I've been just reflecting on how people have been treating this year. If you are here, drop me a line. This year we are describing this year. This year was in fact diabolical, but Jesus has taken the wheel. Amen. Amen. We believe. If you're here, drop me a line. What was 2020 like for you? We are describing 2020 as we are rounding up this year. Describe 2020 in one word or in one sentence. If you are here, drop me a line. I'm telling you, man, this is a year that I've said that this is not a year. This is just an event. This is something that happened. That's my own. 2020 is not a year. It is something that happened. It's an event. It's an event. This is an event. And I'm telling you something. I've been careful about what I'm saying about 2021. When the new year is coming, you always, this year will be the year. Nah, I'm just calm. I'm humble. I just want 2021 to come. 2021, just come. No pressure, no expectation. Just come. Just that. I just want a new year. That's all. I don't want no. I won't put too many things on it. Just come. 2021. Hey, 2020. And the thing about 2020 is finishing as crazy as it began. 2020 is finishing as mad as it began. And that's why I want people to. 2020 has been a year of big lessons. I'll tell you something. I've been humbled by this year. When you have plans, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. When things happen that make it so impossible, you begin to realize that it is not by power, it is not by might. Listen, man, I know we say it is the will of God, but that's not the end of the conversation. That's not the end of the conversation, because sometimes that's why, God is the one we go to and we ask, what should we do? And, God is a father who helps us understand things, but you have to seek the understanding, because it's not just a question of saying, oh, that's just how it is. The issue is, that's somebody's family. That's somebody's family. Rashid said, this year wiped away years of hard work of business owners, kills a lot of people, exposed the evil and self-centered nature. Rashid, you have said it all. I love that. Rashid Godoffa is in the building. I love that. This is a year where a sneeze is the equivalent of a bomb threat. This is a year where people forgot about being kind and all that. This is a year. No, it's weird. It's also a year where kindness came out a lot, right? Because a lot of people gave and helped and sacrificed themselves, our medical heroes, so we have that. And then on the other side, we have a lot of people that just got really selfish. Remember when this all started and people were rushing paper, tissue, toilet roll and stuff, and people were going into stores and just hoarding all the stuff they could hoard. And it's like, if tissues were supposed to be the lifesaver, if you are holding it, that means you have no care for the people coming behind you. You are buying all available resources, and some people were even buying that so that in case it got to a point where it was going to be, you have to sell. They were hoping that if it gets that bad and people don't find any more in the store, then you just sell the one you have hoarded. So it brought out a part of us that was crazy. Don't get me started. I mean, Bashagun is touching on this a little bit. 2020 brought out some level of ignorance, stubbornness that we have not seen before. Those of us in America, in particular, we are able to see. I was watching a video of someone in Germany, and they told them that Germany was thinking about another lockdown, which was going to be crazy. And they asked this guy, he's a business owner, he was going to lose, he's already lost a lot of money. He's looking at his business, almost not opening up. And they asked him, what do you feel about the government talking about another shutdown? And said, it's bad, I don't like it, but I understand it because we have to do something to keep our people safe. You see, that kind of reasonable, that ability to hold two things in your head at the same time, that's what has been missing in this America. That's what has been missing. To understand that, it's horrible to have businesses shut down. It's horrible to have schools closed. Those of us who do side gigs, even our regular gigs, income went down to zero. It's unthinkable. It's horrific. Like Rashekun said, you work so hard to build a business. You're just barely making it, but you're hoping one day your business will boom. And all of a sudden, this thing comes in. Nothing is not your fault, but you can't afford anything. You can't keep it open. You have to let your people go, all your workers and employees. You can't do anything for them. It's sorrow upon sorrow. It's compounded horror. And I don't know what to say. And I told someone when they were doing the summer, when they were having the riots, and they were burning down some buildings and some businesses, and someone said, "Oh, they have insurance," and I said, "That's rubbish talk." If you've ever owned a business, if you've ever known someone who owned a business, if you've ever been part of building something, you don't want it to burn down. You don't want it to close up. You don't want it to end, abruptly. That's not your dream. That's not your dream. People are building businesses for their generations, right? You build a business so that your children will have something in their lives that was given to them by their father, by their mother. You want your children to inherit something. You want to make a mark in the world. You want to provide a service. You want to give a product. You want to be part of the chain, the economic chain. You want to have some liberty, some independence. Hopefully you have some financial benefit that will make you financially independent. These are the dreams, and everything you put into a business is so that you can get there. So let nobody come here and make it seem as though lost businesses as something are acceptable. It's horrible. It's unfair and it's wrong. Now that's one thought. The other thought is, when it comes to a life and death situation, you don't have a choice. There you go. Insurance does not cover all losses. It covers only when it's a disaster. So some insurance policies, most insurance policies have limitations. So you can't just claim everything on insurance. And I'm saying, even if you could, I have a business next to me that experienced a fire, a mechanic shop, and the business burned down. The guy is insured, but he was closed for 2 to 3 weeks. He couldn't do business. And in that period, your customers go elsewhere. When you build a client base and your client base is not able to patronize you for 2 to 3 weeks, yeah, you got insurance money to rebuild. But in the meantime, how do you bring your customers back? Many of your customers have found new places to go. So let nobody talk about this as if it's a horrible thing. If you've lost a business this year, you understand better. And that's why when I talk about coronavirus, I talk about, we need to lock down. It's not without understanding that there's a sacrifice that some are making that is even beyond my own. And I bow to that. I bow to that. The only question is, how do we get a handle on something that is killing us? At the same time, how do we come back from it? This is why I've been upset with people from the beginning of this year. There was a moment. Let me let you know some. This is why I started this whole video, because of this. There was a moment this year, especially for instance in America, but all over the world. There was a moment where we could have gotten a handle on this thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Not getting a handle on it as to eradicate it or to stop it from spreading. Oh, yeah. Oh, is it, ladies and gentlemen? If you can hear me, let me know. Oh, you need to say the sound just went off. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. Let me just, I'll check my sound. Well, yeah, let me check my audio. Let me check my audio. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, it's looking like I'm still okay. So looking like I'm okay. If you can hear me, let me know. So Oyeni is in the building. Oh, yeah. Listen up, but can you, hey Oye, can you hear me? Oh, thank you. Hey, Manuel Obishaka, bro, it's been a long time. Thank you. So for those of you joining, so we are saying, describe for me what this year has been to you. And one of the things, the reason I'm doing this show also is because I'm hoping that we come to some agreements. Let's learn some lessons from this year so that we don't carry it into next year, right? Yeah, please come back. I need you. Thank you. Hey, David Obatola, thank you so much. You guys, I've not talked to you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year in advance. So everybody, by God's grace, next year will be better. Next year will be better. The reason why we're having this conversation is so that next year must be better. I just want to say next year will be better, because next year has no choice than to be better. We will not repeat this. We're not going to do this again. But in order for us to avoid that, we need to be smart. We need to be smart. One of the reasons why people, so people have accused me and say, you are enjoying this Trump loss too much. Just because Trump lost, you think life is going to be, no. It's not that. It's because I do not believe that in a time like this, you need leaders who don't understand the time and the season. This is a time where your leaders have to step up and really care about you. And I've been convinced from day one that Donald Trump doesn't have the capacity to do that. I've empathized with him because I've come to the conclusion it's not his fault. He was raised like that. He was raised, something happened to Donald Trump coming up that made him remove the part of the brain or the heart that has to do with empathy and caring about others. He doesn't have that piece of the equipment. So now that I understand him better. All right. So he cannot empathize. He has suppressed it somehow. He has done something to his empathy so that he does not speak anymore. So I understand him better. But all I'm saying is that what that means, he cannot be president. He cannot be our leader right now. We need a compassionate leader who will act out of reason, out of faith, out of understanding, but also out of compassion. That is what will push a leader to say, okay, we're going to make sure nobody dies. We're going to do our best to keep people. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Shegun, talk to them. We have more than 35 weddings, but Shegun does catering. He's a chef. 35 weddings cancelled. Insurance will not pay for that. I mean, most business people have had to rethink. You've had to, reinvent yourself, go outside the box. Everybody has learned to be on Zoom. Well, not everybody. Some people are on Zoom that should not be on Zoom. If you are still on Zoom and you don't know when your video is on and when your video is off, please shut off your Zoom. You don't deserve Zoom. You don't deserve. Do you know that this year somebody was caught on Zoom doing something inappropriate to himself on a Zoom meeting? A prominent person on CNN, somebody who's on CNN, he lost his CNN gig. He lost it because of stupid Zoom, because he doesn't know how to behave on Zoom. Some people don't know that there's a preview button where you can turn on your video and look at what people will be seeing if they turn on their video to you. You got to use those. You got to use those things. Because don't get me wrong, I've had moments on Zoom to where I'm like, hello, can you hear me? Oh, no, you go ahead. I didn't you go ahead. Is your video, are you muted? Zoom is a problem for many people. David Obatola, that's my problem. That's my problem. And people, I will say it again, I don't hate Donald Trump. I just know he can't be our leader. That's all I'm saying. We all have to know where we are good at, what our strength is. If you don't have compassion, especially in a time like this, you cannot lead your people. If you hear about 300,000 Americans dead, 334,000 Americans dead, and you never mention it, and you're okay going to golf, and you are okay just fighting to overturn an election where you were freely and fairly beaten, and you have no statement for us, that's fine. Dude, that's you. I get it. But you can't be our leader. You can't be our leader. And that's the point I was trying to make about Donald Trump. Those who have been following my videos all year, you know that there's a word I've been using: empathy, empathy, empathy. The ability to feel for others, the ability to feel the pain of others. It is what drives people to do things for people. Every charity work you see where someone is doing it from their heart is because of empathy. And this year we saw a lot of that. A lot of people opened up their hearts and reached out to people who are suffering, which is one of the good things. Thank you, Oye. There was a bomb blast in Nashville. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you about Donald Trump? Because he has lost the election, because he's been rejected. Do you realize what he's doing? He's like the high school senior who has taken his final exam and is just in school lounging. He's no longer going to classes. Yeah, he's behaving exactly like we did when we did our pens down in boarding school. Remember that? If you went to boarding school, shout out to you. Boarding school, especially, high school, secondary school, if you finish your exam, we are done. But boarding school is a different level, because boarding school, you finish your exam, you still have to go to the dorm because you haven't packed out yet. So you still have that time between finishing exam and being on campus where the obligation of school itself, education, is done. So all you have now is just time to hang out. You know what I'm saying? So as a senior, man, as a graduating your secondary school, man, you are free, man. Nothing concerns you anymore about anything. That's how Donald Trump is behaving. Imagine an American president where there's a bomb blast of that nature in Nashville, and we have no presidential address. It's so ironic to me that he's fighting to stay in the seat, right? He's fighting to overturn the election. He's fighting so that he can remain president. But the basic things that the president will continue to do, he won't do. It's so ridiculous. Even if there was a chance to overturn this election and return Donald Trump to the presidency, even if there was a crazy chance, why would America want to do that now? We've seen that you don't care. We've seen that you only care as long as you're in power. We've seen that you only care as long as you control things. As a human being in the White House, there's a bomb blast in Nashville. Just talk to the people. Just talk to the people. And I've said it before. This is one of the things I've been able to say that has shut down a lot of Trump supporters who are like my friends. And I asked them a question they've never been able to answer. Can you justify how a president can preside over so many American lives lost? Forget about whether or not he's responsible or guilty or partially responsible. I know when I bring that up, we have a fight about, is it his fault? Did he bring corona? Is he corona? I don't, that's a separate conversation. Let's just focus on the simple question. Okay, you are president, people are dying from a disease, and you are president. And the numbers are going to the point where we're going to almost 500,000 Americans lost. Why do you not have a day set aside? Why don't you have a day set aside to just say, today, I'm lowering the flag. I'm calling for a moment of silence. I'm calling for a moment of prayer. He hasn't even done that. He won't even acknowledge the deaths. The closest thing he's ever said about them is that it is what it is. So I'm saying this to understand my beef, my issue with Donald Trump is not just, oh, I want a Democrat to win. It's like, you cannot have somebody leading us at a time like this that has no heart. That's all I'm saying. I've not even dealt with the incompetence or the inefficiency or the corruption, the arrogance or his ignorance, his stupidity. Leave that aside. The lack of empathy is a deal breaker. And I'm so glad that America did the right thing this November. America, well done. Because it was always a game of numbers, wasn't it? It was always going to be a question of how many of us realize that this man has no empathy and he should not be president. And how many of us are there saying to themselves, I don't care if he has no empathy. I like some of the things he does. Plus, I hate the liberals. I want them to die. So I'm going to go for him no matter what he does. If he shoots somebody on Fifth Avenue, I'm in his corner. We're always going to have that. The question was, what are the numbers? What are the levels? And I can say clearly, the levels are 7 million more of us. 7 million more of us Americans who can vote. 7 million more of us have spoken. And I will continue to hammer this. I said it in the last. I'll tell you something. I don't know. You guys tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm seeing less and less of these people online. Those are saying there was voting rigging. There was dead people voted. I'm not seeing them as much. Is it me? Have I been away too long? I've not seen them as much. They are quiet. Many of them have been quiet now. Tell me, are you guys still hearing the people in your own circle? No, I mean, Donald Trump is making noise, but in your own circle, are you still hearing people? Let me get some of these comments here. He doesn't have the ability. It is a lack of empathy, Oye. It is a lack of empathy. I played a video. I played a video where the White House set up a meeting for Donald Trump to show empathy, right? His people really set up a meeting. They brought some doctors and nurses, and I played this video for you, and you can find it online. Donald Trump was in the middle of people, and they were telling him how bad it was, how doctors are frustrated, nurses are crying, people are dying. They've never seen this rate of death before. This meeting was set up so that Donald Trump can show empathy. It was orchestrated, it was planned, it was scripted. All Donald Trump had to do in this meeting was say, I feel so bad. My heart goes out to those families. And I understand what the doctors are dealing with. It's a very hard time. This is all Donald Trump had to say. All he had to say was, I feel bad, or my heart goes out to you. I appreciate what you are doing. That's all he had to do. It was a home run for him. They laid it in front of him. This idiot. This is what he did in that video. He said, yeah, I see. We have some White House pens. Please, can you pass the pens around? Give them the pens. This man was passing around swag, party favor. They just told him about all the death that the doctors are seeing. He couldn't even make it up. He couldn't pretend to care. My guy, this is not a leader. Okay. Corona humbled the naysayers. Thank you. And look, you have Biden, and that's why even don't get me wrong, a lot of people on the other side have issues with Biden too, right? Biden is not perfect. Biden is old, all that. I've never been the one to argue that Biden is not old. Bros, you're about to say I'm old Juni. You can't miss the fact that Biden's an old guy. And if you're at that age, you can't miss the fact that you'll not be as sharp as you were when you were 40. We know this. This is math. What I will not allow you to say is that Biden is worse than Trump. What I will not allow you to say is that you don't see the difference, because one of them has empathy and the other doesn't. Now, let me break it down. One of them has empathy, whether by nature, by birth, but clearly by life events. Biden lost his first family, his wife, and I think one of his children to an accident early in his life. We all watched him a couple of years ago lose his eldest son, right? To cancer. He himself had an aneurysm and he almost died. As a matter of fact, the doctor said during the surgery that when they opened up his brain, the tumor or whatever it was, that it burst outward towards the doctor. It didn't burst inward. They couldn't control that. That's what happened to Biden. If it had burst inward, dead. It burst outward. This is the life Biden has lived. There's a video that really moved me. There's a video that moved me. Thank you, you guys. I'm bringing your comments in now. There's a video that moved me where Biden was talking about Barack Obama, and he said that when Bo was sick and they spent a lot of money and they were losing, they didn't have anything else to give, and they're about to sell their house. Listen to what I'm talking to you about Biden. They're about to sell the house. Obama told him. Obama was the one that told him that, Joe, you're not gonna sell your house. You're not gonna sell your house. Me and Michelle have come together. We're gonna help you. So this is not a millionaire, he's not a multi-millionaire. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? This man has compassion. This man has heart. That's all I need right now. The rest of it, you see, there are professionals in this country. They are professionals. They are doctors. They are scientists. Just like the vaccine. Donald Trump is over here shouting, they say they should name the vaccine after him. If they name the vaccine after Donald Trump, what should they do to the scientists who actually developed it? The Nigerian dude who helped them develop the Pfizer vaccine. What should they do to him? If Donald Trump gets credit for the vaccine, what shall we say to the guys in the lab? Day after day, no sleep, mixing and matching, checking and microscoping. What should we do for those? If we clap for Donald Trump for the vaccine, what should we do to the guys in the lab coat? Please explain to me. So this is my problem. You know, Biden came from a humble background, and you can tell. That's all I need, bro. That's all I need. He's not going to be the one. He's got generals, you know, secretaries of state are going to do stuff. Secretaries, ministers are going to do the job. All they need from him is direction. What is his plan? His plan is to unite the country. What is his plan? His plan is to get the vaccine into everybody as much as possible. What is his plan? His plan is to restore America's respectability all around the world. What is his plan? These are some of the stated goals. He wants to bring America into a green economy. These are stated goals. Whether or not can achieve them, different conversation, but he's going to have people around him to help him get there. He's choosing cabinet members. So what I'm trying to say is this: Biden doesn't have to be perfect, but he did have to have that empathy, and that empathy won the day. That care won the day. The reason his own rallies were truck rallies and car rallies is so that people around him would be safe. The reason he wore masks, so that he would be safe, people around him would be safe, and he was mocked for it. But if you care about people, you don't care if you're mocked. And that's the difference. And what I'm asking all of us as a group, as a people, is to consider empathy next year. Starting from this year anyway, consider empathy. Empathy is what will make you wear a mask, even though you have a right not to. Do you understand? There are a lot of rights we have, but we don't assert all our rights. The asserting of some rights, you know, if it's going to harm someone else or if it's going to put someone else in danger, it's a reason not to assert it. And that is precisely what Jesus was talking about with the turn the other cheek. That's what say when say pray for your enemies. That's what you have a right to be angry with your enemies. You have a right to curse your enemies. But Jesus is saying if you're going to be like me, you end up praying for your enemies. That's the whole point of that Christian injunction. Which brings me to why I'm always upset with all these Christians that are Trump supporters. They skip over this lack of empathy. So out of two devils, there must be an angel. Thank you. No matter you have said the words, you have said it. This stupid argument. You know, why are we choosing the best of two evils? First of all, calm down. The way you assign people evil. The issue is this: we are all struggling. We have all sinned and come short of the glory of God. In Romans 7, you see that Paul is describing a battle in the in the believer's mind, the battle for the flesh and the spirit, for control of your soul. So the battle is there, battle of good and evil, godliness, ungodliness. That's why every day you pray, have mercy upon me, O Lord. That's why you get up and you try to live better. The battle is there. So the potential for evil and potential for good is within us. Rise sharp in the bit of wagwan, brother. Brethren, everything good, everything good. Yes, I good to see you. So the battle is there for good and evil. So the issue is not whether anyone is completely 100% evil or 100%. Even Donald Trump, I've just explained. Donald Trump, I've come to realize, is a victim of his upbringing. Somehow along the way, Donald Trump decided, or he learned, that empathy was not acceptable, at least not to his father. So Donald Trump has lived his life being ruthless. He's lived his life being selfish. He's lived his life being greedy for himself. And he said it before. There are videos of him saying, I'm greedy. I'm sorry. I just like to grab. That's how he has grown up. So it's not a knock on Donald Trump. You say, oh, Donald Trump is so evil. So there's a seed in Donald Trump that keeps him from being nice, that keeps him from being helpful, that keeps him from having empathy. I feel bad for him, but that's his reality. I don't completely blame him for it because it's a psychosis. It's a condition. It should be on a therapist's couch on a regular basis. But he's not. So I won't just call him evil like that. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you say, "Oh, best of two evils," look at situations and circumstances. What do these options provide? What is more likely? Like right now, yes. So this is okay. I've had this conversation with a friend even before this $2,000 conversation. The Republicans, Democrats, politicians generally, I come at them with skepticism, cynicism, I'd say. I don't trust politicians just because for you to run for office, there's a level of self-importance that attaches to it. So fine. But I don't place all of them in the same basket and just say politicians are all wrong. No. Ask the simple question on this issue, on this policy. Where do we stand? Which one of them is standing in a place that I believe is empathetic to the people? And on that, I can support the politician's position on that thing. So it's not so much me defending a politician a blanket defense. So that's the same thing with Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump is just the wrong man for the job. Yeah. Trumpers that file lawsuit by machine makers. MJ, I'm telling you, when Smartmatic began to file lawsuit against the Trump guys on Newsmax, OAN, and Fox News, do you wonder why you're not hearing more about the Dominion machine anymore? Have you wondered why? Let me tell you why. Lawsuits. Oh boy. Smartmatic wrote a letter to all of them. If you don't stop lying about our machine, we will clean you out. Newsmax just started and OAN. They haven't started making money yet. They were like, Biko, we will retract. Google Newsmax retraction. Newsmax is a news station. Newsmax has started retracting. When did they start? They have started retracting their own news. Fox, they brought an expert. Listen to this madness. After months of saying the Dominion machines were rigged, the Dominion machines were fraudulent, Joe Biden, they brought an expert on their own show and they asked him questions like they were in court. They said, have you seen any evidence to show that the machines were rigged? The expert said no. Have you seen any evidence that the machines were made to give Biden votes? The guy said no. On their own TV show where they have been telling us the whole time that the machines were rigged for Biden, they had to bring experts they did a segment that they can show in court that we retracted, though. Don't sue us. Why would anybody still follow these guys? You call CNN fake news. But these guys you are following are the ones that are retracting their own news on a daily basis. Who is fake? Who is fake among them? The one that is saying what they said yesterday, everything we told you last night, it turns out it was inaccurate. That's the guys you are following just because you want to find any news station that will follow Donald Trump. My guy, if you are here, drop me a line. What has this year been for you, 2020? Now we're going to go to a topic that I wasn't able to get to my last show because I had to rush off. What do you guys feel about the vaccination, the vaccine? Let me get your thoughts on that. What do you guys think about the vaccine? Now, one of the things I put on my flyer is that, I made a joke and I said, oh, it's the vaccine, let's hide. Because there's this sentiment that, people are skeptical about the vaccine. People are, a little weary about the vaccine. And what I've realized is, those things are even in categories, right? So there are those who are looking at the vaccine from the point of the historical, racial, application of the vaccine regimen, right? So, we have Black people who have been, unfortunately, minorities who have been used for experiments in the past. That's unforgivable. It's unforgettable. So you're not gonna tell me to just trust the vaccine now when I know that there's a history of my people being used as guinea pigs for vaccines. So that's not realistic. It's not rational for you to come to me and tell me to forget about that. So we have to address that. Now, on the other side of that conversation, right, is the fact that, well, this particular vaccine and the vaccines that we've had in modern times, have they followed the same pattern as those vaccines that were developed in a way that was racially discriminating and dangerous to our people? And the answer is no, because the truth is, for those of us who grew up in Nigeria, we've been vaccinated against so many things, and we can say that with none of those things have had that effect on us that we would say, oh, it was targeted to destroy us, right? So that's anecdotal evidence that, okay, if I'm sitting here and you're watching me and you've ever taken a vaccine, that means that whatever vaccine you took, it worked for you. For me, if I can say that the vaccines that I took kept me from experiencing things like polio, measles, tuberculosis. I've not experienced those things. And I know that I come from an area where those things at a certain time were very rampant. So I can look at the vaccine and say it worked for me. It worked for a lot of people in my generation. So we're not just going to have a blanket statement on vaccines and make them all suspicious. That's number one. Especially so that's for me, that's a more reasonable conversation about the skepticism about vaccines. You can be skeptical, you can be suspicious of vaccines because vaccines, there is a history around vaccinations that is discriminatory, that's been dangerous for minority populations, and is documented. So that's reasonable. It's a reasonable fear of the vaccine, no doubt. Question is now after you start with that fear, but now what do you do with the knowledge you have acquired since those things happened? What do we know about vaccines now? Who's behind the vaccines now? What are the results of vaccines all over the world? And this particular vaccine has been administered to millions of people already, and they're monitoring those people, trying to find out what the side effects are. Very minimal, if at all, about 3 or 4 cases of reactions, and those reactions are even explainable to the extent that those people have, allergies to some ingredients in the vaccine, and they're able to isolate the kind of person that shouldn't be taking the vaccine. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's science there to figure out what's going wrong. And some of those people that have the effects, they're not Black people, they're white people. So it's not like targeted to have an effect on Black people. You see what I'm saying? So you can have the fear, and you can have you have the righteous fear and righteous distrust of the vaccination system. At the same time, you can have an understanding of what this particular vaccine is about. How safe is it? You can do the research, you can check, and you can have the examples of those who have taken it already. Not to mention the fact that you can now think about who's behind this vaccine. In more than one case now, the Moderna vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, we've seen that a lot of our people, like a Nigerian, is one of the main movers of one of the vaccines. There's a African American sister who's also a major part of the studies that came up with the Moderna vaccine. So you have that additional piece of the puzzle. So we're working with evidence, is what I'm trying to say. We can't be ignorant. We can be skeptical, but we don't have to be ignorant. So you don't just sit in your house and say, the vaccines, they use it to kill Black people, I'm never taking it. And you never take the step to figure, okay, this particular vaccine, how was it developed? Who's using it? Who has it been used for? What are the studies? What are the results of the vaccine so far? So you have to make those inquiries. If you're here, drop me a line. We're talking about 2020. How has the year been for you? I'm talking about vaccines, and we need to have this conversation about the vaccines because there's a lot of skepticism. I'm sitting here telling you, like, I'm also partly worried. Just with anything, with any drug, with any medication, you worry about the side effects. And on a vaccine, it's on a higher level because it's been developed, and it's been administered in a way that's like it's going directly into your system. If there's any problem with that vaccine, if it's in your system, it's in your system. So so you can approach this with that skepticism, that healthy skepticism. It's right. So I'm not among those people that will tell you, oh, why are you afraid of the vaccine? No, there's a reason to worry about the vaccine, because there's a history of discriminatory use of vaccination. So that's math, that's just science, that's history, that's fact. All right. So don't blame me for being skeptical. Don't blame me for not trusting. The other side of that conversation is, after I have started out with skepticism, what do I really know about this vaccine? Have I gone to find out what the vaccine is like? Have people taken it? What has happened to those people? What are the tests that were done? All the scientists that say the vaccines are safe, do I trust their pedigree? Do I trust their resume? Is it only white scientists that are saying the vaccines are okay? Or are there scientists of all ethnic races who are in agreement? Scientists from Asia, scientists from Africa, people who come from places where they should normally be distrusting of the vaccine, because you have to understand the world is different. The time we're talking about with the Tuskegee experiment, you have a lot of people were excluded. A lot of our people were excluded from these processes, so it was easy to just to have conspiracies to harm us. But the truth is, because of the advances we've made, thanks to all those who have fought and led the way, we are involved in a lot of these processes too. I say we, Black people, African Americans, Africans, Asians, minority populations, we are all part of these scientific worlds. And so at some point, we have to start listening to ourselves. So if our people are saying, nah, man, this is good, this is all right, and if our people are taking the vaccine, our doctors are taking the vaccine, our nurses are taking the vaccine, our scientists are saying it's safe, at some point you have to make a decision as to whether or not your fears have been allayed, whether your fears have been dealt with. Please drop me a line. What do you feel about vaccines? Let me see. David says government needs to step up the disbursement and enlighten the populace on the need for taking it. That's exactly right. I know they're trying, but the fundamental distrust is still there. So think about it. The problem it is that same government that people don't trust. People don't trust the government on anything. So trusting them on the vaccines is going to be tough. So even if the government is telling me it's safe, if I don't trust the government, that doesn't help, because I'm still going to be like, of course you say it's safe because you want to trap me, right? So that suspicion is justified. What I'm saying is that you don't end at the suspicion. You don't stop your inquiry at the distrust. It's not the end of the conversation, because like I told someone who brought up to me, someone said to me, yo, this vaccine, man, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it because I don't think it's safe. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. I get that. I get that distrust. But here's a question you have to answer as soon as you say that. If you say, I'm not going to take the vaccine, my next question to you, after I say, good job, don't take it, what is your plan for us to end this pandemic? That's it. We don't end the conversation that I won't take the vaccine. My next thing, so what's your plan? And it better be good. And it better be universal. And it better work for all of us. Because I don't want to go through 2021 the same way. If you understand what I'm trying to say, I'm not going to go through 2021 the same way. So when you're talking about the vaccine and you say you're not taking it, you have to explain to me what your solution is. You see, because it's a little lazy to say, I'm not taking the vaccine and then walk away. No, we have to solve this. We cannot do 2021 the same way we did 2020. So let me know what is your feeling about the vaccine? What do you guys think? Do you think you're going to take it? Personally, when it's time for all of us to take it, I think enough time would have passed where a lot of people have taken it and we've seen how it works. I personally, I want to take it. I want my family to take it, because at some point we have to end this. That's my thing. If you say no vaccine, fine, but tell me what we're going to do. Don't tell me no vaccine, and then when I ask you, so what's your solution? And so people are like, oh, I'm just going to use my ginger roots and build up my immunity. What does that mean? Building up your immunity is not a one-day thing. Building up your immunity does not guarantee that schools will open. Building up your personal immunity does not answer the community issue. All right, so let's go. Let's get into it. The reason why people don't want to take it is it was rushed, but it was not rushed. It being in the pipeline for a long time. So I've been working on virus. Let me read that. Let me read that for those who are just listening. The reason why some people don't want to take it is because they believe that it was being rushed. But it really wasn't rushed, because it was in the pipeline for a long time. Scientists have been working on various vaccines, including the COVID vaccine. Money speaks volumes. Thank you so much. That's what I mean. Like, when my suspicion meets evidence, right? When my distrust of vaccines, my legitimate distrust of vaccines, when it comes in contact with information about these vaccines, then something must happen, right? So if I'm suspicious about vaccines and those who give vaccinations, and I ask questions of this particular vaccine, was it rushed? I feel like it was rushed. Everybody's clapping Operation Warp Speed. They're touting how quickly they brought this thing to market. They're touting how quickly it was. It's like it's weird. You're saying that, and people are already telling you that they're afraid of how quickly it was done. And you're touting how quickly it was done to convince them to take it. And it's like that's a disconnect. And I think the messaging from a lot of the government agencies and well, the Trump administration is so desperate to just say, we did it, we rushed it, and not realizing that by saying we rushed it, that you rushed it, and a lot of people were thinking that's precisely why I don't trust it. But MVJX, you make a perfect point. Pfizer, all these companies have variations of vaccines that they've been working on for years. Like we said at the beginning, the coronavirus is a family of viruses. So so all these what we're getting now, what we got this year is a new strain. That's why it got its own name of COVID-19. But the coronavirus family, people were, and this one the confusions that the confusion that was up. Some people said it's a hoax, it's a lie. Coronavirus was already here. Why are they pretending it's new? It's like I was so frustrated with that. Like we can hold two things in our heads at the same time. Coronavirus existed. This strain of coronavirus is new and different. That's why it's acting differently. That's why it's harming us differently. That's why it's spreading faster. That's why it's having a more dire effect. It's like, how do you not understand that that's possible? Coronaviruses have already existed. This is, imagine, it's a cousin of the existing one. This cousin is more virulent, is more harmful, is more dangerous, it spreads quicker. So it was never a question of whether or not coronaviruses have never existed before. Therefore, the vaccines against those viruses were already in development. What we now have is a diversion of all those efforts into dealing with this strain or these strains now that we have an additional one. So the vaccine situation is something where I feel like you can start off being skeptical, but you have to be able to marry that skepticism with information. So let me know. I mean, do you guys have any idea whether or not you'll take the vaccine and things like that? Because I feel like if we don't have a solution by the time we roll into 2021, if coronavirus is still ravaging and the new strains are still ravaging, and we don't have substantial vaccinations, it won't matter. We're gonna as 2021, we're gonna end up in the same place in 2021. And I am so desperate not to be in the same place in 2021. We gotta be rid of this. We gotta get this thing gone. It's gonna take us so long to rebuild anyway. It's gonna take us so long to rebuild. So we gotta get rid of it. If you're here, drop me a line. We're talking about 2020 and all the crazy things that have happened. I was talking about the vaccinations. So my point on the vaccinations is this: like, I believe that there's enough information to make me comfortable with the vaccine. Right? That's where I'm at. I mean, like, and I acknowledge the fact that being afraid of the vaccine or not trusting the vaccine for reasons of history and the history of vaccinations and discrimination and how people have been used for experimentation, I think it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable. That's why, please don't. I don't think it's fair to just tell people, "Oh, why are you so afraid of a vaccine?" That's not rational. That's not reasonable. I think it's reasonable, right? Not to mention the fact that the truth is, in any vaccination regime, some people are going to have side effects. Some vaccines in Africa, all over the world, have resulted in some things that, some side effects for some people that have made it so that, the vaccines have to be carefully administered and all that. But there's more evidence on the side of vaccines working. The vaccines work. The vaccines that we have used all our lives are a testament to the fact that generally vaccines work. There are a lot of diseases that we've eradicated in the world because of vaccines. And the science of vaccines itself has improved. The participation of minority scientists and doctors in experts in the world of vaccines is a big plus. I mean, all Nigerians are celebrating the fact that a Nigerian was involved in developing the Pfizer vaccine. Well, don't just celebrate the fact that, hey, he's our child. Celebrate the fact that that means that you can trust the process a little more, right? Because if one of us is in there, and don't give me this thing about, oh, maybe they paid him. That's not how this works in many cases. A lot of people are dedicated to their profession, and they want to be at the height of their profession. And as Nigerians, I feel like we understand that more. We should understand that more than most people, because we blessed with the ability to be really good at some stuff when we put our mind to it. That's why in almost every endeavor, if you have a Nigerian involved, they're going to be at the top of the conversation. Because as a people, I think we're motivated to just rise to the top and just do our best. So don't tell me that this brother who's worked to help us with this vaccine, this Nigerian dude, don't tell me that he's a stooge. Don't tell me that, oh, he wouldn't tell us if it was dangerous. Don't do that. Don't start with that. Where were you when he was in med school, right? Where were you when he was at Yale? Where were you when he was developing other drugs? All of a sudden, people want to tag him as, well, I don't trust him. Like, you can't do that. That's not reasonable. And then the other thing about it, you have other evidences to look at. Have people taken the vaccines? Yes. What is the effect on those people? Most every one of them have been okay. We're waiting to see if any one of them come back with symptoms of coronavirus. But the idea is this: if the choice is between taking the vaccine and just letting life continue like this, I think the vaccine is the better option. And that is me addressing those who don't trust the vaccines or trust the process because of history. Legitimate fear, legitimate distrust. You are right to distrust the vaccine. I cannot argue that with you. But now I won't say too much about those who have an irrational fear of the vaccine. Those who want to tie the vaccine into the Bible and make it look like the vaccine is the vehicle through which they're going to give us all the end time inscriptions of the devil. And like, I don't see that in scripture. That's a conjecture. That's you doing the math. That's you trying to figure out how the devil is going to come. That's you trying to do the math on how 666 is going to come. That's you doing your math. All I know is Jesus said, no man knows the time or the hour. That's all I know. All I know is that there are things, the Bible says the things that are hidden are for God, the things that are revealed are for us. That's all I know. All I know is that if the vaccine that you took for polio and measles did not have 666, why are you so convinced that this is the one that has it? You're walking around with a phone with all kinds of chips in it. You're walking around with a smartwatch, chips in it. Stupid glasses that you're wearing could be chipped. The food you eat could be chipped. So your fear of chips and microchips that you have not considered in any other aspect of your life, but you now somehow think they've put the chip inside the droplet of the vaccine. And you're running around now and you're so sure of it, even though you can't prove it. You have no evidence. All you have is this suspicion. And I'm sitting there looking at you and saying, people are dying. And you are sitting there doing all these machinations. And you have no proof from the Bible either. You can't say the Bible mentioned exactly how this thing would happen. Your conclusions are based on your own calculations of what the Bible says. You are the same ones that said that Barack Obama was the Antichrist. And then he lost power. And the narrative was derailed. You are now trying to figure out how you can make Joe Biden the Antichrist. Is it not clear to you that you are engaging in something that God has not sent you? I've said it over and over again. If you look at the way Jesus dealt with the disciples on the issue of the second coming and the end of days, he was focused on helping them understand that they should live for him and await his coming with a godly life. That's the priority of the believer. The machinations and the calculations of who the Antichrist is and when he's coming, that's not what Jesus wants to do. That's why he didn't give us a date, so that we will not be preoccupied with that date. But you guys are doing calculations and Venn diagrams, and all of a sudden your Venn diagrams have led you to conclude that the vaccination is the devil. And I'm sitting there going, based on what? You have no evidence. You have no proof. All you have is conjecture, conspiracy theories. You are the same people that talked about 5G towers. You have moved from 5G now. You are the same people that called Bill Gates the Antichrist. But then it was Barack Obama last time. Now it's Bill Gates. Next week, I will know who you will choose. All I know is that you are just making up your own stories. You're making up your own stories. The Bible has not said so. The Bible has not said so. Paul told Timothy at a certain time, he said, do not always drink water, but drink wine for your often infirmities. For me, that's an endorsement of Paul telling Timothy, if there's a remedy for a medical condition that you have, use it. That's what he told him. You know? Yeah. No, they won't call Trump the Antichrist because they've invested too much in saying Trump is the chosen one of God. That's why some pastors don't know what to do right now. They don't know what to do right now. It's looking like Trump is going to leave the White House. And they have predicted to their followers that no matter what, Trump will continue to be president. They don't know what to do. All their hopes were on the court cases and the lawsuits. And I watched as the lawsuits got thrown out of court because they were rubbish suits. So you are using your faith, what you call your faith, and your religion. You are substituting it for common sense. And I do not believe that that's how the Bible operates. You see, common sense gets subsumed into faith, not as an antagonistic relationship. You come into faith with understanding because the same Bible, over and over again in Proverbs, talks about understanding and wisdom, wisdom and understanding, understanding, wisdom, understanding. He said, in all you're getting, you have to get understanding, you have to get wisdom. And then in James, he tells you that does any man lack wisdom? Let him ask. You have to be wise. Wisdom, understanding, knowledge, those things have to do with your reasoning ability. One of the things that makes, I'm going into theology a little bit. One of the things I believe that makes Paul such a compelling biblical example is that Paul comes to faith with an intellectual heft. Paul comes to faith with a mind that's already, so read. He's a man of letters. He's a man of understanding, of knowledge. And you can tell in Paul's writings, right? When Paul is trying to describe what we inherit as believers, what does he say? He says that no one inherits, no one gets an inheritance unless the person who is giving you the inheritance passes away. That is Paul as a lawyer, understanding how wills and testament work. You see what I'm saying? So Paul did not stop being smart when he became a child of God. As a matter of fact, his wisdom got enhanced. His vision, his ability to write, his ability to describe and persuade, he just got better at it. And that's what I'm trying to say. So this war between faith and religion and science is an unnecessary war. Faith is faith, it governs. Science is an endeavor, is an area of life that gives us understanding. It stands. In many cases, we this wisdom, not to mention a lot of the scientists and doctors and inventors that will tell you that they got their inspiration from their faith. I mean, it's a little off tangent, but I'm trying to delve into this issue of the vaccination and the vaccines. There's rational concern about the vaccines, and then there's irrational concern. The rational concerns, I consider them very legitimate, but my only suggestion for that is that marry those concerns with evidence. Marry those concerns with proof. What do we have on ground? How many people have taken the vaccine? What's the reaction? Have you ever taken a vaccine in your life? Did it work for you? Is it still working for you? So you have a basis upon which to believe that vaccines will work. And my other question is this: if we will not take the vaccine, you tell me what your suggestion is on how we get out of this. We cannot continue like this. Second strains, third strains of the virus, new strains. What is your solution? The vaccine is one big way that we can have an entire population inoculated. We can all acquire immunity, most of us, at the same time. And then let's see if that defeats the virus. A lot has been done to assure us of the safety and efficacy of these vaccines. A lot has been done. And like my sister said, even though we hear about all the fact that, it was rushed, it wasn't rushed to the extent that even Donald Trump wanted it to be rushed more. You remember he wanted it to be out before the election? What happens is that the scientists had a maximum amount of time where it had to be, they have to spend this amount of time to develop it. And as someone asked me, How come something that's supposed to develop in 5 years got developed in a year? You can understand that. That's explainable. Why? One, whenever you have an entire industry focused on one thing, you immediately cut the time it will normally take to develop that thing. It's just, I'm not even a scientist like that, but I can understand that. It's like, say, it's like me and you now. If we have a project that we are doing as part of our daily lives, but then we decide to cut everything else off and focus on that one project, that project gets our attention and our focus. It's we're gonna move faster on it. It's like if you're in an office, everyone has different assignments, but you now say there's a particular project and you call all the departments together and you guys shut the door and you close the door and say, this week we have to finish this project. That project takes on priority, then you devote all your resources to it, you devote your time to it. Of course, you're going to get quicker results. If you're here, drop me a line. Drop me a line. How is 2020 treating you? I'm talking about vaccinations. What do you think about the vaccine and taking it, and all the fears and concerns about it? So people who say, "Oh, how come they're able to get it done quicker?" It's because they focused on it. If you pour money, time, effort, and energy into a particular project, then you are likely to have the results better, quicker, faster, because you don't have any other thing competing for your attention on that project. So the vaccines are coming out quicker because the whole world focused on it. So imagine companies like Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, who have multiple drugs that they're working on, multiple things that they're doing. And then imagine all of them putting all their resources into one endeavor, right? As big as Pfizer is. Imagine Pfizer is now focused on just getting a vaccine for coronavirus. Imagine that governments all over the world are opening their doors, shelling out money, giving these companies everything they need to get this vaccine. Of course, you're going to get quicker results. It's not because you've compromised the process. It's just because the resources that you need for the project all of a sudden have come in. Think about the fact also that for these vaccines, normally the process of getting volunteers that will test it out, it takes longer. Imagine that now the whole nation is focused on getting this thing done. Volunteers are willing, people are willing to really help. If you have that, then you're going to have the vaccine process is going to be quicker. So don't just assume that because they got to it quicker or they were able to do it better, that it must have been rushed. That's not what happened. Like my sister just said, a lot of these companies already have some of these things in development. They just repurposed for this virus. So we should not be so skeptical about the vaccine that we accept the alternative of continuing to dwell under the tyranny of coronavirus, because those are our options, right? If we don't have a solution that helps us all get out of this, we're going to think about all the nations that were able to get over the first phase of this thing, opened up a little bit, second wave hit them, they got through that, third wave is hitting them, a new strain is coming in. You must have a solution for this thing. We must end it. Right now, the vaccination is the most likely way for everyone to be able to be safe from this virus. So if we keep rejecting the idea of the vaccination, African Americans, Black people, Africans, in America at least, we're suffering from this thing more than anybody else. If we are the ones rejecting the vaccines the most, what do you think is going to be the death toll? What do you think is going to be the issue next year? We want to open up schools. We want to open up businesses. I think it would be easier to open up businesses if everyone, including the store owner and his customers, are vaccinated. And over time, we see that because of this vaccination, we are unable to catch the virus anymore. I don't know what it does for spreading it, because I can be safe from the virus and still give it to somebody. But if you're also vaccinated, then you can't catch it either. What it means is, like, from my understanding is, the vaccination comes in and helps your body develop responses to beat the virus. So in other words, if the coronavirus pathogen enters my body, if my body is ready to fight it and destroy it upon entry, and I don't even have to deal with it, then we want that option. Then we can come out of the fear, right? Come out of the fear, because now you have a defense. And those who are saying, just build up your immune system, that's not how it works. You don't just build up your immune system overnight. This is supposed to boost that process. That's the whole point of vaccination. That's the whole point. And the thing about immune systems is like, you can't guarantee that your neighbor's immune system is ready to handle this. And fine, those of you, I think there's a little sense of narcissism too. A lot of people say, oh, well, me, I'm good. I use my immune system. My immune system is like, well, congrats to you. Hope everybody in your family also has the same immune system, if that's possible. No, if you care about other people, then you're not talking about just keeping yourself safe. You're talking about a whole community approach. So this is an argument for the vaccine. This is an argument for the vaccine. If you're taking flu shots every year, if you immunize your kids when they are born, if you like me, you're an immigrant, you travel to America and you had to take some shots and some immunizations, inoculation before you got your visa, then we shouldn't be out here pretending like vaccines are the devil. You've taken some already. And this is the one time we really need it to open up outside again. They've closed outside. Outside is closed. We can't go. And we must open outside. 2021 must not be spent like this. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy some working from home situations. You can lie down on your bed and click the laptop, then close your eyes and sleep a little, and then click it again, and then you understand. But it's not the way to live. And we got to get the kids back in school. If you're here, drop me a line. What do you think about the vaccine? You're talking about vaccinations. Are you guys gonna take it? Are you? What do you think? Let me get some lines. Yeah, will you be taking the vaccines? Don't forget to share. We're talking about end of year 2020. A lot of craziness this year. The pandemic and all that, and a lot of people we lost this year. Just we can't even start to. We can't even start. That's why I'm saying we need to go with the vaccine. You need to go vaccine because right now, unless you have another solution for me, I'm open. If you have an alternative to the vaccine, I want to hear it. Otherwise, come on, let's just be quiet and take it. And I know I've started by saying, yeah, if you are skeptical, that's fine, but don't stop at being skeptical. Do the research, get the information, find out, talk to the doctors in your family, find the scientists, talk to people who know. And like I said, if you're thinking that, oh, they're going to use the vaccines against black people, talk to other black people who've taken it. Yeah. They said Bill Gates is the Antichrist, but those people are using his. It's ridiculous. You're calling him the Antichrist, but Microsoft Word and all that stuff and Windows, you've been using Bill Gates products for years. Are you sure you have not partaken in his it's like what is this selective nonsense that people do? It's not wise. It's not wise, and that's why I'm saying like we need to personally I just need to get closer to God, ask God to help me. Because God is the only one that knows these things. And when you pretend to know, you'll be disappointed. All right. So that's on the vaccines. Now I'm going to speak quickly before I go. A lot of people are asking about January 6th. Like today, we got the news that one of the senators, Josh Hawley, says that he's going to do the thing that Trump wants on January 6th. I tried explaining it in the last show that January 6th, where the Congress is supposed to more or less ratify the Electoral College votes and accept that as the final word on the election, there's a procedural aspect of that particular date where some members of the House can object to the electoral votes of certain states. And when they raise that objection, if that objection is supported by a senator, if you have one senator supporting the House of Rep members who are objecting to certification, then that objection will be taken up, right? That objection will become valid. And then the two chambers, the House and the Senate, will have to separate and go into their own chambers. And then they would have to vote as to whether or not to uphold the objection, which means whether or not to invalidate the votes of that electoral college or to invalidate the objection, which means that that objection is defeated and they can go back and they will accept the electoral college votes as given from that state. Now, because there are 4 or 5 states that are being quote unquote targeted by Trump and his cronies. So so we might have that process play out at least 5 times on January 6th. So the effect of that is it might really delay the process. It will create chaos and there'll be a spectacle and all that. But on paper and in mathematics, what's likely to happen is that if those objections are raised and they are seconded by the senators and forces the process to halt, it's going to force the process of certification to stop. It's going to force the House of Reps to go and Senate to go into their chambers and vote on those objections. That means that that kind of vote can happen 5 times on January 6th. Very disruptive. It will be chaotic. It will make it look as if something terrible is happening. However, the reality is when they go into the chambers to vote, because the Democrats have the majority in the House, they will likely overturn it. They will likely reject the objection in the House. So those votes will eventually be received and approved. Now, in the Senate, there's every likelihood that it will also be rejected because most of the senators are not in line with this scheme. Number one. And number two, Mitch McConnell, who's going to have a lot of control over what happens, has already told his members he doesn't want them involved in this scheme. Now, Josh Hawley has said he'll be involved. There's a new senator from Alabama, Tuberville. He says he's going to do it too. So those two might be there to start the process and raise the objection to the level where there have to be meetings on both sides. But at the actual in the actual chambers on both sides, there's likely to be a defeat of that procedure, even though that procedure might take place 4 times or 5 times on January 6th. Now, what I want to bring out is this. This is one of the most disturbing things about Donald Trump's presidency, his ability to corrupt others. That's the thing about Donald Trump that scares me the most. His ability to corrupt other people. He's corrupt. He doesn't see a world in which anything is black and white or straightforward. His own thing is that I wash your back, you wash my back, it doesn't matter. That's why he's always surprised when people don't do his bidding, when he thinks that he has already helped them. That's why he's disappointed in Supreme Court, because he thought that once he appointed these guys to office, that they will have no choice but to do what he says. But he's been surprised. He's been disappointed at the fact that these guys are in office and they're rejecting his lawsuits. Because they don't understand that even if I'm loyal to you, there's still a limit as to what I will do for you. Especially if it's not going to be beneficial to either of us. I'm not going to take a case for you that's going to end up with disgrace on both our faces. And this week you've seen like even the supporters of Donald Trump, like the New York Post. The New York Post has been one of those. They endorsed Donald Trump early. They've been behind him the whole time. This New York Post this week had one of the most what would I call it? The harshest criticism of Donald Trump. The New York Post has the harshest criticism of Donald Trump this week. They told him that it's over. They told him to stop. They said he was beginning to look like a deposed king. They said he was beginning to look like King Lear, a crazy king. That's a newspaper that was in. So that's Rupert Murdoch's newspaper. That's the Fox News owner's newspaper. And they had to come out and tell him, Donald, you're making us look bad. You're making all of us look bad. They called him names. Because everyone is beginning to realize that he's dragging the whole country into the mud because he lost. I told you what he did with the $2,000 checks. He did that to blow up the process. And don't forget, the unemployment extension, unemployment expired before he signed the bill. So a lot of people lost payments for that week. And he would not have signed the bill if not for the fact that they had all these people come and prevail on him. Lindsey Graham, Purdue, all these people came and begged him not to destroy the country. That's what he likes. He likes people begging him and groveling before him. So arrogant. So we have never seen anything like this. And that's why he had to go. So now, the 2,000 he put it up as a dare and a bluff. The smart thing that Democrats did was they didn't waste time. They took it up, they put it into a bill, and they passed it from Congress, pushed it into the Senate. Now, Donald Trump always knew that this was going to be a headache for Mitch McConnell. And that's why he did it, because he wanted to punish Mitch McConnell and the Congress and the Republicans in Senate for daring to accept Joe Biden as president-elect. So what we have is that a man who is just vindictive. He's like a wounded lion. He's running around the White House. He's toppling everything. And I'm telling you this, the sooner he leaves, the better for us. Because even if it's 10 days left for Donald Trump in the White House, it will be 10 days of chaos, 10 days of poison. Now, personally, I prepared for that. In my mind, I knew this was going to happen. But it's still sad to see. It's sad to see because he's destroying a nation that people have worked to build. But I'm okay with it because all I know is that he's gonna go. And so we need to start regaining our senses as a nation. I'm hoping that more people will start to move back from all the rhetoric that we've been hearing all year. A congressman just died just before taking his seat, just before starting his session. He leaves behind 2 small children. It's sad, from coronavirus. And from all indication, he had no pre-existing conditions. That's what we've learned so far. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. And that's why at the beginning of this year, it was important for us to come together. And now, as the year is ending, I'm hoping we will come together and stop this nonsense. That's it. I cannot get over the fact that we had a president who was invested in the division. Donald Trump was invested in the chaos. He loved it. He loved dividing this country between masks and no masks. He loved it. He loved dividing this country between we need to lock down and sort this, and we need to just open up, and regardless of what happens. He loved doing that. He loved dividing the country between the young people who have immunity and the old people who have pre-existing conditions. He loved driving that wedge. He loved dividing this country between those who are saying Black Lives Matter and those who say, oh, we don't want anyone to smash our businesses. He loved driving that line. He loved it. He loved dividing the country between those who believe that America should remain white and those who say, no, we need to be more inclusive and we need to do this. He loved driving that line in between. He loved sitting on that line, that fence in between, that division. That's where Donald Trump thrives. Right now, he's enjoying putting a line between those who say that the election was rigged and those who say it was a free and fair election. That division itself is the point of his entire thing. He knows he lost. This man knows he lost. But the division is something he cannot let go of because he loves it. And I find it so funny. People are going around like Josh Hawley. These guys have done, it's like it's like we no longer know how to think. Logic and reasoning is gone. I hope they come back for 2021. People like Josh Hawley is saying that he's going to support the effort to destroy the election results. What is his basis? He said because a lot of Americans believe that election was rigged. Why do they believe that? Is it not because you've been saying it? It's amazing. Yeah, the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Donald Trump and his cronies go on TV shouting, this was rigged. It was rigged. There was fraud. There was fraud. And all their people start, you know what? Yeah, it was rigged. It was rigged. And then you turn and say, you see, people believe it was rigged. You are the one who told them it was rigged. You used your presidential authority to establish a lie. And then you turn around and say, oh, you see, so many people believe it was rigged, so it must be rigged. It's like, it's so ridiculous. And reasonable people need to be able to break out of this fever. We need to stop it. How do you assert there was widespread fraud and you're unable to prove one instance of it in one court? I don't think it's ever been done before. We've never had this before. To allege something, you're alleging that it's everywhere. You make it seem as if the fraud was so big, it was so visible. Oh my goodness, it's everywhere. And every investigation none of them, even the ones that you did, your own lawyers went to court and told the judge we are not alleging fraud. Who are these people that believe this nonsense? Who are these? Who are you that you still believe in this lie? Who are you? I can only think of 2 categories of people that can believe this election was fraudulent. One category is one that would never have believed it even if Trump himself conceded. Because you're just married to the idea that Trump is the chosen of God and there's no way he can lose because you've been deceived or you've deceived yourself. The other category is the one that's been listening to all the propaganda, watching Fox News, watching OAN, watching Newsmax. And to that group, I ask a simple question. Now that those guys are retracting their stuff, now that they are all changing their tune, are you ready to accept that you've been lied to? Because it's very critical. It's very important for me to understand how you work. When Newsmax, OAN, and Fox were saying that the election was rigged, and you believe them. Now that they're saying that there was no voting machine rigging, do you also believe them? Or have you just decided to stay in that first statement that, yeah, it was rigged? Then in that case, you're just being willfully ignorant. And that's on you. But I'm hoping you come out of that, because this country needs to heal. 2021 needs to be different. We need to be able to have conversations with each other in 2021 and not be bogged down with lies and deception. What is wrong with you? Now that they sued, did you see that they sued your boys? If you are a Newsmax watcher, if you are OAN watcher, those guys are already apologizing. They've just started and they're already apologizing. That's what you want to. That's where you want to put your camp for news. That's where you want to get your information for the next few years. These are glorified blogs. They are glorified Facebook pages, and they've already started to apologize at the first sign of a lawsuit. My guy, you are in for a long road. They will be suing Newsmax and OAN regularly for lies, and they'll be retracting until one day the one lawsuit will completely crumble them. That's what's going to happen. That's what I predict for, and I hope it happens quickly. Because one of the things that helped Donald Trump propagate all his lies is having outlets that will push out his lies. That's the most dangerous part of this Trump presidency. Amplifying falsehood, amplifying deception, amplifying fake news, and accusing the real news of being fake news. It's very masterful. I don't give him credit for it. I give credit to those who amplified it for him. It's amazing. They've lied to you this whole time. Newsmax is retracting. How dare you? And on January 20th, I'm saying we're going to make fun of y'all. We're going to make fun of y'all because you have behaved so poorly. Such sore losers. I hope Donald Trump gets prosecuted. I hope he goes to jail. I hope he goes to jail for this. He's a destroyer of worlds. He's a destroyer of nations. That man is a destroyer of nations. And the damage he has done to this country, I just hope that we find a way to start healing. And if you're a supporter of his, and you are sitting there and you are realizing that, this man has corrupted every part of this country, and you're okay with that, then shame on you. Shame on you. Bill Barr, on his way out, is now confessing that Trump is like a deposed king. Is he not the one that helped make the emperor into that? It's sad. It's sad. It's too late. For someone like Bill Barr, it's too late. You have already lent yourself to the devil to destroy this country, to undermine justice in this country, the rule of law. You've undermined it. And you're on your way out, you're trying to be reasonable. It's too late. It's too late, Bill Barr. Your legacy is complete. You aided the mad king. And I hope your reputation continues to suffer for it, because you did it with such arrogance. Bill Barr got on TV and spoke with such hubris, saying African Americans believe that they are discriminated against. It's a feeling they have. It's a feeling. George Floyd is dead. Is it from a feeling? It's amazing. These are the kind of people that Donald Trump, surrounded himself with, even now. So January 6th is going to be crazy. These guys are ready to disrupt. But at the end of the day, Joe Biden has won this election. He is the president-elect, and everyone is going to have to find their place in history after this. My appeal to those of you who are Trump supporters, who consider yourself reasonable people, is to reconsider your positions. Many of my Trump supporter friends, I consider them reasonable because they've not joined in this chorus of election fraud. Because they've been honest about election fraud. They're like, no, he lost. They are angry that he lost. They think Joe Biden will destroy this country, and it's their right to believe that. But they are not contesting the fact that Donald Trump lost the election, that Joe Biden won. They're not contesting it because a reasonable person will not contest that. And I refer back to when Trump beat Hillary. I was upset. I was confused. I questioned it. But I did not deny it. I did not deny it. I just moved on to begin to say, let's see what Trump will do. He's going to do this, this, and that. He's going to be bad for this country. He's going to destroy things. I talked as though I already knew that he was president because he was. That was not the argument. Even the Mueller probe The Mueller probe was into Russian interference. It was Donald Trump's consistent interruption, trying to get Comey to take it easy on Flynn, trying to just obstruct. That's what drew him in as a person of interest. So he was president. His presidency was not the issue. The fact that the Russians interfered in elections was a major issue. All evidence pointed to it. The congressional hearings that were done confirmed it. The Senate report confirmed it. The Republican Senate report confirmed it. All the Republican officials in Congress and in Senate confirmed it. Russia interfered. They interfered to help Donald Trump. All the agencies confirmed it. So that was not a conspiracy theory. So that's not in the same category of what you guys are doing now, pretending that the voting machines were rigged. And then when the owner of the voting machine challenge you to court, you are changing your tune. You see, that's the difference. That means that you're a liar. I remember arguing online. No, not arguing. I just chipped in. Oh, someone was typing, oh, you guys wait until they expose the truth about the Dominion voting machines. There's a guy in Nigeria, no clue. He has no idea how elections work in America. He was speaking, waxing so confident. Like, you guys have no understanding of how these things work. By the time Donald Trump exposed the voting machine, the Dominion machine, their machine, when you vote for Trump, the machine changes to Biden. You vote for Trump, it changes to Biden. And I asked the guy, in which states was the machine used? He didn't know. How many precincts used that machine? He didn't know. Was that machine not used in 2018 and 2016? He didn't know. Now that the machine manufacturer now sued the people that were maligning its machine, and those ones they're all retracting. I need to go back and find that brother online. Like, how far with your Dominion machines? Donald Trump has caused most people to just forget how to think. Donald Trump has turned people to zombies, drones, minions, just following like this. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like that. People are just following rubbish. That's why he needs to go. Don't get me wrong. When Donald Trump leaves office, he's going to go and set up his own network or whatever he wants to do. He's going to do that. That's not the issue. But I'm telling you this. It would be better if he's no longer in the White House. That's the first thing. Get him out of the White House. Remove that bully pulpit from him. Remove his access to all that power. He loves walking into a room and his entourage. He loves that. Take that away from him. He won't be able to get himself. I know he wants to run in 2024. I'm not sure he's going to be in a good mental state by then. Because when this man leaves office, he's going to miss it. Because he's that kind of arrogant person who just sees the trimmings of the office and the power. That's all he sees. And I don't blame him. If you know that you're inadequate as a person, if you know that you're a moron and an idiot and you're a fool, and you find yourself in a powerful office, then you must develop some kind of hubris, because you must ask yourself, if I'm an idiot, but I made it to this place, then am I really an idiot? And I don't blame him. I don't blame him for questioning his own moronic nature. You question, I'm supposed to be stupid. Okay, if I say I'm ugly, but I'm married to a beautiful woman, am I really ugly? It's a legitimate question. So I can see how Donald Trump can begin to think that he's smart. But sometimes it's not about you. It's about those around you, about other things. So for instance, if you're an ugly person, but you happen to be born into a royal family, you can get yourself a wonderful woman, not just beauty-wise, but just wonderful, because you have access, you have opportunity. You know, I mean, if I was born into a royal family or if a wealthy family and I had money and I was ugly, there are options, right? Because if I see a wonderful woman who is running a charity, I can just enter by, first of all, assisting her charity, spend money for the people she's taking care of, and pretend like I don't care about, getting any recognition from it. I'm just writing a Nigerian movie now. I just be a rich man that come, oh, you're taking care of all these people. Here's money. Take care of them. And can I join you on your next trip to Africa? Oh, yes, let's go. I'll wear t-shirt and shorts. I'll help them build the houses. I'll build the schools. You might be ugly, but after a while, this wonderful woman who is running this charity will begin to look at you somehow. She might not like you at the beginning, but after a while, you are just available. You're using your resources to help her. You're not asking anything in return. She's even waiting for you to hit on her. You don't hit on her. You're just like, so I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Bye. And you leave. And she begin to wonder, I thought he was going to ask me out. He's not asking me out. You can, what I'm saying is that you can build up to get, so you can, you can be ugly, but end up with a beautiful woman, for other reasons. So when Donald Trump ends up being president and he knows that he's a moron, it takes a lot for him to understand that, it's not about him. It's the fact that he represented something to a lot of people. White supremacy. That's my theory. That's my theory. Every white supremacist, every racist look at Donald Trump and like, oh my goodness, he's the unicorn. He's the golden child of racism. And then all the rich people looked at him and said, oh my goodness, this guy is going to give us tax cuts like nobody has ever given before. So boom, they are on board. So by the time you combine the white supremacists with all the economically motivated people that feel like, yeah, this guy is going to do it. And then all the deceived people who say he must be successful. He's flying in a jet on a show, The Apprentice. When you have that vector, you have enough of a base. And if you do a good enough job to destroy your opponent, yeah, Donald Trump is president. Doesn't change the fact that he's ignorant. He knows nothing. He knows nothing. He still doesn't know anything. And the sooner we get rid of him, the better. I can't wait. I can't wait. This guy has to go. And people are upset that he's playing golf while America is suffering. It's okay. I don't need him to do anything. Honestly. Let him play golf for 22 days. I'm telling you. Can we sponsor him? Can we buy more golf clubs and golf balls? Let's help him. I want to help Donald Trump play golf for the next month. I'll be so happy. Please don't alert him to the fact that he's playing golf. Let him play. We just need less of him in everything, and then we'll be fine. Those of you who are criticizing the Trump administration that, they promised to deliver 20 million vaccinations by the end of the year, and they're only at 22 million. I'm like, it's not fair. It's not fair. Leave him alone. 2 million, 1 million, just leave him alone. Just get him out. Let's get him out, and let's start 2021 differently. Let's start 2021 different. We have a shot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy JFK. It's been fun hanging out with you this year. Next year, we'll see what's going to happen. We're going to make some changes, do some new things. And you know what? Give me a shout out. Let me know how you feel about the show this year. Drop me a line. Tell me how you feel about it. Tell me your suggestions. Shout out to all my fans, people listening. MJ Jackson in the building, Furniture Showing Car in the building. David Obatola spending time with me today. I really appreciate that. Ryan Sharp, my man. I need to get back to the podcast, brother. It's been a minute. Blessings, but happy New Year to you guys, man. Check my Dofa in the building, my personal person. Oyeni in the building. Now that's my man right there. Trusting God for a better 2021 for everybody. Emmanuel Obishak, happy New Year to you guys. 2021 must be better. It must be better. It doesn't have a choice. I'm not doing this again. That's why I'm saying if we require taking vaccine, we will take it to, because we can't do this again. We're not going to live like this again, man. No. So next year, man, we'll see what we can do with this show, man. See if we can move it up, do a little bigger. You know what I mean? 2021, man. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Shout out to everybody out there. You know what? We're gonna do a better year by God's grace, and just have a good time and enjoy life. What we've learned this year is that every day you have is a blessing, because no day is guaranteed to us. And let's watch out for what's going on. Fingers crossed that we're gonna get the $2,000 checks. I will not say no to checks. So Jesus help me. You know what I mean? Bros, is it true? Bros, is it true that Trump tested positive again? Oh yeah, my brother. Listen, next year you're coming on my show, man. Oh yeah, you're gonna be on my show. I need my guests. I need my people on here. So we're gonna work it. I need your insight. I mean, follow you online. You know what you're talking about. I need your insight. Wait, is it true that Trump tested positive again? Is that possible? But Femi, this California people, they be getting information before everybody. Uncle Femi, is it true that Trump catch corona again? I don't know what to do with that. That's like, and all these people are around him playing golf. Breaking news. Hey, wait. Is it? I don't know what to do with Donald Trump. I don't know what to do with Donald Trump. Why is he catching corona again? I thought he had been. So he doesn't have antibodies. Ah, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy on you. This guy. This guy. Is it possible? Ah, Uncle Femi, yeah. This information you're providing is amazing. I thought he had antibodies. Did his antibodies go on vacation? This is what I'm talking about. And people are following this man. He's still spreading. This man is still spreading corona. Oh, and it's going to be in Georgia. This one is going to go and campaign in Georgia. He's going to go and campaign in Georgia. Donald Trump is like he's working for the virus. It's like he's working for that virus himself. Like Corona and Donald Trump are in cahoots, just like Russia. I'm waiting to get this information. This is amazing. Why is Donald Trump right? So in other words, upon the treatment that he got, upon all the antibodies, upon all the stuff, wearing a Superman shirt and coming out, do you see why I'm arguing for the vaccine? Do you understand? Uncle Femi, it's ridiculous. Oh. Do you see why this Donald Trump got the best possible treatment for coronavirus? Do you understand what I'm saying? He got the treatment, he got the best drugs. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? They gave him all the antibody treatments, they gave him everything. If indeed he's now coming again with another round of the virus, my brother, my sister, do you know that was it not this man that they've been shouting on TV that why is he not getting his? Mike Pence has already gotten. But he's doing younger, he didn't want to get his own vaccination. Look, I'm done. We need this vaccine. Let's forget story. This is the perfect example. If someone like Trump, who has all the protection, all the drugs, all the cocktail of drugs, all the antibody medication, if someone like him can get it again, what are we doing? We cannot do. Look, I'm not doing this with you in 2021. Sam, my 2021 must be better. I'm not doing this corona thing with you. 2021 is a corona-free year for me in Jesus' name. I mean, Donald Trump got the best treatment now, surrounded by 12 doctors at Walter Reed. They gave him Regeneron. They gave him the new drug now, experimental drug that nobody has used. Isn't that why he came out and went on the balcony to salute like a Superman? They said he wanted to wear Superman shirt, but people say that'll be too much. Uncle Femi, please link me with this now. Link me with the story so I can show it to my people before I go tonight. Adegoke in the building. What's going on? Happy New Year, Fa. You see what I'm talking about? Did I not just finish telling you, like, look, this vaccination thing, the question is, what are the alternatives? If you are telling me that there's a treatment that we can take that does not require vaccination that will make us free, then I will take it. But Donald Trump got treatments. If he still got corona again, if he got reinfected, I'm worried. Don't forget that we're also discussing the presence of a new strain of the virus, more infectious. David Obatala said Trump is the virus. Trump himself is the virus. Trump, if at the very least, I believe that Donald Trump is working for corona. How can somebody be president and be telling his people not to wear the mask? Are you connecting the dots? He told us not to wear mask. He told us not to worry about it, that it's only affecting a few people. He told us that we should open up all the schools and the shops and everything. Say, open it up. I'm beginning to suspect this man that he and the virus are having meetings every late night. Yes, so appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I'm just saying 2021 must be different, man. We shouldn't be this stupid in 2020. Stupidity must die. Ignorance must die. Ignorance die. Stupidity die. Foolishness die. 2021. Because the virus is one thing. The damage that ignorance has done this year is another thing. I'm telling you. Is it America? Is it only America that Corona happened to? No, now. Even other nations that are still struggling with it. Don't get me wrong, nobody got it all the way right. But their death tolls are low. Their infection rates are lower than America. Even though they've staggered and they're stumbling and they're having second wave and third wave, they did better. They did better. Why did countries like Germany do better than America? They are not smarter than America. Eh? Baba, I'm checking it now. I'm watching my feed now. I know it's going to come up. It's going to come up because I need to confirm this thing before I leave tonight, because that's a major piece of story. That's major news. He's supposed to go to Georgia and campaign now. He's supposed to go to Georgia and campaign. We'll see what happens now, because I know he's still going to go, because obviously, even when he had it the first time, he came back from the hospital and immediately went. So I know he's not gonna care. But I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, this is why we need to take this thing seriously. If Trump has all the things he needs, Trump has all the things he needs to be okay. No, I mean, I will confirm this thing tonight. And then it's like the other point is this: look at all the people he has been around. Did you see that video of him on the golf course? No mask, surrounded by all those people that came to beg him to sign the check. All these people now go and have to, Lindsey Graham has to go and check himself now. Even Purdue has to go and check himself. And he's running for office. This is amazing. Yo, I don't know. In fact, I don't even know what to say about. Okay, Trump has virus again. I think I'm seeing some claim, and let me confirm. This is crazy. This is crazy. And the thing about it is this: he still hasn't mentioned anything about all the people that have died. The congressman that died yesterday, the new congressman. I feel it's so sad. I feel so bad, man. He just won a seat as a congressman, father of 2 children, a lovely wife. They say there's no underlying condition. This thing is too scary. This thing is too bad. It's too bad. It's sad, you know. I have a good question here. What exactly is the fight with science and not wearing masks? They politicized it to a point where I think it came up of 2 things. This is my understanding of it. Because people started getting invested in Donald Trump's position, that it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. That was the first, the position that Donald Trump took is what a lot of his supporters took, which was that it wasn't a big deal, and that it was being blown out of proportion, and it was being made into a hoax. See, when Donald Trump married that position, all his supporters started building support for that position. What I believe that now happens is that when reality now hits that it was not a hoax, that it was a real disease, a real virus, that it was a killer virus, that it was infectious, and the science began to show up as to what we know about it, the science was unable to break through the position that they had already set. So they had to discredit the science. That's what Trump and his people have been doing this entire time, discrediting the science in order to allow them to stay on the position that they have held on to. And now that position now became a religion. There's no corona. It became a religion. So to wear a mask is to admit that there's coronavirus, or that is deadly, or that is infectious, or that science is right. So people got to a position where they couldn't do that and still support the president. And this is where the deception of Donald Trump really hurts. This is where the con artist, the con man in Donald Trump is a problem. While Donald Trump was publicly telling these people that, there's no cause for alarm, that's when we saw the Woodward recordings that he did with Bob Woodward. It was around the same time he was recording, and he was telling, hey, Big Pastor Shala is in the building. Baba, Happy New Year, Fa. We are talking about this. They said Trump has corona again, Baba. I'm not sure. I'm confirming the news now. Because if that's the case, then everybody better go and take that vaccine. That means that there's no treatment that will stop you from getting it again. Vaccine. Oh yeah. What are you not talking? 2021 must not be like this, Baba. So that's what happened. A lot of people married themselves to Donald Trump's position, and they had to devaluate science to keep Donald Trump right. In order for Donald Trump to be correct, science had to be dismantled. That's why people like Anthony Fauci became the enemy. Baba Peki in the building. Pastor, I want you. Your people are here. Yo, so I mean, like, so if Trump had said, imagine if Trump had said, okay, this thing is bad, we're working on it, wear a mask, it would have been a different world. So that's what we have. You were asking about Follow was asking about that. That's the problem we have, that they married themselves to this is a hoax, is a hoax, is a hoax. And all the conspiracy theories were connected to that. The 5G theory, the fact that it was not really a virus, it was being faked by the people who want to sell vaccine. They built a world, a universe around those lies. When the truth of coronavirus now began to hit and just kill and kill and kill, because coronavirus does not watch the news. I said it so many times on my show. COVID does not watch the news. COVID is not on Twitter. COVID does not have a Facebook page. Coronavirus is just killing and infecting, infecting and killing, killing and infecting, infecting and killing. So while you are busy arguing about whether it's real, it's not real, it's a hoax, it's not that serious. Corona was just pa, 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 pa. Yeah, me too. I'm waiting on it. I've not seen it. But I know sometimes the news premieres, and most of the networks, they like to confirm. So I'm waiting. I'll tell you something. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised because Donald Trump continues to behave as though he wants to pretend that Corona is nothing, and his followers continue to encourage him. I tell you, why do you think leaders, other nations leaders, have not seen their popularity going down, even though they have lost some people too? It's because everyone saw that at least they are trying. If Trump agreed with science, he would have won this election. His heart was hardened. This is exactly my point. Thank you so much. If Trump had really handled Corona and listened to the scientists and shown a bit more concern, and if he had not lied to Americans telling them it's going to go down to zero, if he had not lied to Americans telling them it's going to be gone by Easter, if he had not lied to Americans telling them it will be gone with the heat, if he did not tell Americans that like a miracle it will disappear, if he did not tell Americans that they don't have to wear a mask, if he did not tell Americans to go out and protest their governments that are shutting down, if he did not tell Americans to liberate this and liberate that, do you remember he told Americans that after the election you won't hear Corona again? Do you realize how much of a liar he is? How are you still following him? Did he not tell you on a rally stage that after the election you will not hear about Corona again because they were just talking about it to embarrass him? Is it not after the election that we begin to see another surge? Are we not talking about Corona now? Is that not why we are celebrating a vaccine? How many lies? Hela is looking for his flock. How many lies must this man tell you before you realize that he himself is full of deception? It's amazing. He said after election, you won't hear about Corona again. Is that true? Has he not been shown to be a liar? Corona was never about Trump. Corona was never about Trump. Coronavirus doesn't care if Trump wins or loses an election. Coronavirus is still ravaging. Do you think coronavirus, watch the TV to find out who won the election? Are you crazy? Yeah, Baba, look for your sheep, Jerry. 2021 must be better. So this is my problem with Trump supporters, at least the more reasonable ones. How in the world are you convincing yourself to still listen to this man, to still support this man? What kind of vegetable soup has he cooked for you? For you to believe him so much that you ignore science, you ignore health, you ignore life, real life. I mean, Corona is not playing games. That's why, look, we must take the vaccine now. Unless you have something else for me, solution-wise, we must take the vaccine. We have to do something. We have to do something. There's no... Baba, I've not seen this news of Trump's second coronavirus. So I've not seen it. It has not made it to the wires. I'm waiting. If it's true, it just confirms that no amount of treatment will stop you from getting it again. All the antibodies in the world are not enough. Yeah. Is anybody questioning whether or not Donald Trump's got antibodies? He got the best cocktail of drugs. He got the best treatment. Drinking anointing oil. Like I said, in the Bible, Paul told Timothy, he said, don't always drink water, but drink wine for your often infirmities. He did not tell him to drink anointing oil. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are some situations where you just take the drug that's available because the God who allowed the men who made the drugs to make the drugs is also answering prayers. Let me say that again. The vaccine that was made is made by the permission of God. Are you listening to me? So when God has provided the vaccine for you and you don't want to take the vaccine, that's on you. He did not say you should multiply. He said you should use it medicinally. He said to use it medicinally. He said, don't, when you are using something medicine, is not using it as pleasure, it's different. It could be 2 drops like Benadryl, 2 caps, boy. Number 1. Then number 2, like they will tell you in the Bible, they did not tell us what kind of wine. They don't tell you if it was fermented, what percentage alcohol. Before you go and start drinking and say, Paul told Timothy to drink. That's not how it happened. Kennedy Kolale said Trump is Koboko for Americans. He has delivered the messages he sent to deliver on his way out. Trump has been able to gather more followers who are ready to perish with him. your words are strong. No, it's not. It's not a matter of perishing. After a while, I think their eyes will open. I think everybody's eyes will. After a while, I've said it. Take away the bully pulpit from Donald Trump. Take away the presidential microphone from Donald Trump, and then we can begin to get some sanity. Even if he has a Twitter account as a private citizen and he has a lot of followers and he still be doing rallies, that's fine. As long as he's not doing it from the presidential villa. That's the thing that I'm trying to get everybody to see. Donald Trump will still have some kind of influence. But there's something about the American presidency that amplifies whatever you do, wherever you are. And we should not give that power again to anyone like Donald Trump. In the history of America, let it be known that this experiment of giving power to an ignorant, arrogant man who has no empathy should never be repeated. Don't let America don't do this again. No matter how angry or how mad or how upset you get, America, don't ever do this again. Do not ever hand your democracy over to a demagogue, because you may not survive the next one. America survived this one very, very closely. We're about to turn into a banana. In fact, the Banana Republic banner was coming up, and they was about to put it on top of America this November. But the election, we took the banner down. That banner is still available. Banana Republic. America can still become a Banana Republic. All you need is one more. Baba, you have a point. Stupidity can change with knowledge. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think that's the point of knowledge. That the whole point of school is, you go and learn what you didn't know, right? So I'm hoping that there are some people that can change. There's some people that can change because, like I said, if you are not constantly being fed from the loudest loudspeaker in the country, then you have time to really assess. What Donald Trump has been able to do is to continue to feed America his corruption from the highest office in the land. That's why this election is important. Once you've removed him, he no longer has access to that microphone to destroy. Then I think America has a chance. We have a chance. My people, I have to leave you here, Jerry. Baba KK, good. Thank you for coming in. MJ Jags in the building. MJ, you're the best, Jerry. Treatment. MJ says the treatment were for his hair recommended by Walter Reed. Now he went to Walter Reed for his hair. I don't doubt it. Yinka is not to mutikpara. Take the vaccine, just like you take Tylenol for headaches. It's the same thing. My people, if indeed Trump has caught corona again, then it's confirmation that we need to go and take the vaccine. It means no treatments or antibody will help you. We must try vaccine, because next year, I'm telling you, next year cannot be like this. Like Brother Shegun said, too many cancelled weddings. Caterers lost money. MCs like myself, we lost money. It must not happen again. It must not happen again. Next year must be celebration. In fact, I intend to revenge a lot of celebrations that I didn't do this year. I'll do it twice. Like my birthday, I didn't really celebrate it. I celebrated, they did surprise for me, so that one is different. Any other thing I did celebrate this year, I will do 2 of it. So if it's supposed to be 1 day celebration, I'll do 2 days back to back. Next year, next year is a revenge celebration year. So please, if a vaccine reach your neighborhood, it's time to take it. To me, I'm taking it. I'm not waiting. If Donald Trump, who got all the antibodies in the universe, can still roll around. If Corona was just like this, you have antibody. You have antibody. It's a lie. Okay, let me test you. Oh boy. Yeah, absolute vibration. Yeah, that's how I say. Corona is playing games with antibodies. Oh, now vaccine will solve this thing. Not a actually antibody vaccine. The kind of vaccine that sorted out malaria. The kind of vaccine that sorted out tuberculosis and polio. Like a big blow. That's what we need. Let's stop playing, man. Uncle Femi, I'll confirm with you with this Trump thing. I know that it may be making its way through the wires. Until next year, my people, tell me how I can improve. What can we do? Make this thing bigger. Next year, man, we're gonna have a good time. We'll probably have more topics next year because once Donald Trump is out of the White House, we can focus on other things in life. Can I tell you a secret? From the day he lost the election, I've been lighter. It's weird. My posts, I've had time to post pictures of birthday and barbecue. It's like other aspects of life are showing up ever since he lost. That one is a singular canker worm. So next year now we can deal with other arguments. Even next year, even the Biden administration will be in trouble. They will argue, Biden's son is being investigated. A lot of normal controversies, but those are normal controversies. Not this existential destroy the whole country controversy of Donald Trump. Chai, that man destroyed a lot. But we have hope. We have hope. It's your boy. Hey, my God is good. Oh. Hey, my God is good. Everything na double double. Oh. Na double double. Everything na double double. Na double double. Favor double double. Oh. Na double double. Na double double. Na double double. Hey, my God is good. Oh. Hey, my God is good. Mm. 2021, Happy New Year, y'all. It's gonna be a good year, God willing. God bless y'all. Y'all been good. Y'all do you, man. Shout out to my people. Shout out to my people. Double, double. Double, double to you, Johnny. Somebody worship, somebody praise. Yinka is in the building. What's up, sis? Compliments. Somebody worship, somebody praise. Somebody worship, somebody praise. Somebody worship, somebody praise. Hey, my God is good. You are God. You are not just big, oh. You are not just large, oh. You are a great God. You are God. Hallelujah. You are not just big, oh. You are not just large, oh. You are a great God. Hey, you are big, 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 big. Large, 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 large. Oh, great, 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 great. You are a great God. You are big, 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 big. Hey, large, 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 large. Great, 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 great. You are a great. Hey, ẹ wá bá mi gbé gbá ọpẹ́ o. Yeah, jẹ́jẹ́. Hey, yes, so that's my celebration. 2021, we're going to be good. Baba say, Baba Keke, I'm going to drink. You're going to use drum to drink COVID-19 vaccine. Don't believe only injection I go take. I don't think they have enough for you to drink it like with a drum. I don't think they have enough. You have only 2 doses. Greedy man. You are greedy. Hey, Damlala in the building. Yes, so we are worshiping for 2021. Oh, hey. Just hanging out. Oshe, Oshe, oh, Oshe, oh, Oshe, Baba, Oshe, Oshe, oh, Oshe, oh, Oshe, Baba. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, my Lord. Whatever I am now, it is by your grace. Many are died, many are perishing. Whatever I have now, it is by your. Ẹ wá bá mi gbé gbá ọpẹ́ o, yẹ́yẹ́yẹ́. Gbùdùngbùdùngbùdùngbùdùn gẹ̀gẹ̀, 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 Don't mind me now. It's supposed show don't finish. I just here just chilling. No. Hey, Damu, Happy New Year, bro. Yinka, have fun now. Have fun in Texas. I want to mean. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So let's enjoy the rest of the year. Once again, trusting God for a better 2021. You know, I'm taking the vaccine because I want a shot at a better year next year. Come on, it's time for this corona thing to end. It's time. It has overstayed its welcome. And I don't mind if they have the $2,000 check to coming in. I don't mind. It's gonna be good. Our hearts go out to everyone who's lost someone this year. Some of us have lost a lot of loved ones this year. Some to corona, some to other things. And our heart goes out to the families. And we just pray that God will comfort every home and God will strengthen every feeble knee for everyone who is sick. Because coronavirus did not just kill people; it made some people lose limbs, and it caused some people to have some permanent damage and dealing with health complications. And we pray for healing for those people. Pray for all our health workers, doctors, nurses, EMTs, everybody working in the hospital. God bless you. God keep you. Thank you for what you've done this year. God will strengthen you. We appreciate you so much. If not for God on our side and with you as his vessel, we're talking about some bad death tolls where they could have been worse. If not for the heroes that worked hard to save lives. We appreciate you. Thank everybody out here. It's your boy JFK, man. We're gonna catch you up in 2021, bigger and better things. Stay safe, give God the praise. Let's do this again next year in a better situation.